A U.S. company makes electric VTOL craft that resembles UFO and could transport people Superman style. With the first prototype of the craft complete, this company reportedly could begin manning its flights within 3 to 6 months. The US-based company is called Ziva Aero. It's produced the first prototype of its single-person vertical takeoff and landing VTOL electric flying craft. It's electric, so I guess it wouldn't make any noise. It resembles the classic flying saucer design from the late 20th century, New Atlas reports. And according to the media outlet, this craft is essentially a carbon disc about 2.5 meters in diameter. That's about 7 feet in diameter, with a gross weight of some 317 kilos. A person-sized cavity is located in the middle of the disc, and a clear section allowing the craft's occupant to see outside, as well as 2 nacelles, each sporting a pair of coaxially mounted electric props. Batteries will be located in the sides of the disc, separated into packs that will be isolated from one another in double-walled carbon boxes, which will be constantly monitored and capable of venting both heat and toxic gases outside the aircraft in the case of a battery fire. The passenger compartment will be further isolated from the battery areas via an additional bulkhead. The new craft is reportedly expected to function as an air taxi. It will be ferrying passengers head first, face down, Superman style. The company CEO Stephen Tidbits told media outlet that among other uses for their product would be the use by first responders, search and rescue, hot extraction, and resupply. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. He says we've got civil applications and DoD applications, and people are getting pretty excited about this. So yeah, he says we're zigging there where others are zagging. But my consideration is that where these things are needed and where they can be used straight away is not the urban environment. That's the last place I'll put them once we've got thousands of hours up. He mentioned seeing extreme interest in rural areas and in countries like Indonesia that have thousands of islands with little infrastructures. And the relatively small size of the craft is also touted as one of its advantages. He says first responders can park several in a garage ready to fly. Rich guys can have them on their yachts as an efficient way to getting between ship and shore without having to keep a helicopter maintained. And we can land them in much smaller places because they're vertical takeoff, as I said. We can take off and land in a cul-de-sac or other places where a 35-foot wingspan is a handicap. With this first prototype complete, Tidbit said that manned flights may begin within 3 to 6 months, maybe less. He says once we demonstrate safe flight, we'll be categorized as an experimental aircraft, in which case we will begin human flight. He said, now I definitely don't want to jump the gun on that. We'll need hundreds of hours on the machine before we put a human in it, and we also need to get our ballistic recovery parachute installed and tested rigorously. Of course, you have to have a parachute just in case something goes wrong. How can you come out? So this is obviously an aircraft. This is by Andrei Dergalin on Sputnik. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support.